You were playing against Robby. You've known him a while, so talk about your history with Robby, the first time you met him, and then your time on tour with him.
So the first time that I don't know the first time I saw Robby. The first time that I played Robby was in Nashville, Tennessee in the summer of 1994 when we were 11. I think we were both 11. And from there, we were always the same year in juniors, so all of the USA teams and the junior teams, and we won the version of Junior Davis Cup at the time. It was called Sunshine Cup. Went through the juniors together, played in the Junior US Open final, played, I don't know how many times we ended up playing on tours, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. So it was, we played in Challengers even before that, so we shared a lot of significant moments, and we were trying to do things at the same time. We were getting to our first pro tournaments together, playing our first slams at the same time. And so, he texted me today, and it's just, the thing that's great about tennis is you kind of move on from the everyday grind of the game, but you still maintain relationships that you shared memories that don't go away. So it'll be nice to get out there with Robby. I don't think we ever played here in Atlanta, so kind of get him on his home turf will be fun. But Robby's always been a good friend, and we've shared a lot of really fun moments together.
Open it up.
Yeah, anyone for Andy and Eddie? Ricky?
Speaking of the devil.
Right on cue.
Now, what can we expect to see tonight in terms of joking around, competitiveness? Just how's it going to be, you think?
Can you hear me? Or do we need it? I guess we need it for audio.
Yeah.
I have a series of 12 jokes planned. I plan to start early. No, I don't know. I have a lot of fun playing tennis now because when I was playing, I was pretty selfish. I certainly felt the pressure of performing in events, and was a little ridiculous about scheduling my day, and I wasn't super flexible. And so now to kind of have matches that are really fun, you want to perform well, not a lot of consequence past our own egos. It's a lot more fun. I look up every now and then. You interact with the crowd, and you get the chance to kind of almost pay it back for all the years of support that they gave you, which was, unfortunately, a lot of times it's one-way traffic, right? I play, I get off, then I go into like selfish mode, and all the while these people are supporting you. So selfishly, I certainly appreciate that I can come here, play these, maybe interact a little bit more, get a little bit more face time with the people who have supported me throughout my career, and continue to spend a Monday watching us play tennis. I don't know if the product is as good as it used to be, but we still certainly enjoy the opportunity.
Do you ever think about going back into the pro tennis world and maybe coaching one of these young guys?
I think about it, and then I don't know that I've never really seriously considered it though. Life is fine. The thing about tennis is to be involved in a significant way means giving up your geography for a significant amount of time. The tennis tour will never come to one person, and it will never kind of run through the convenience of your existence. It's out there. It's in Atlanta this week. It cruises on through the US Open in the United States, and if I did something, I would want to do it well. I would want to actually be committed. I wouldn't want to show up and create news and then disappear and not do a good job. And so I don't know that I could provide the level of commitment that I would want to provide someone. You never say never, but it's certainly not something that I'm willing to compromise on at this point in my life.
Thank you.
No American man has won a singles Grand Slam title since you won at the 2003 US Open. What do you think it's going to take for that to happen, other than like Nadal and Federer and Djokovic retiring? And do you think any of the current crop has the potential to do so?
Well,
it takes 21 sets over 2 weeks. And I think there's value in breaking it down into something like, can you win 7 matches? Okay, most people in this draw have won 7 matches before, maybe not in a row, but they're certainly capable. And one of the things that I've tried not to make a habit of is calling out players by name, and I've seen how that kind of pressure can build. It is strange to think. I mean, 2003 seems like a lifetime ago for me. So you do want to see someone get through. I think tip of the hat goes to people like Roger and Rafa for carrying night sessions at the U.S. Open and carrying general interest of the sport past just our kind of niche conversation in the grand scheme of things about American tennis. The next one's always around the corner. I mean, no one knew who Ali Azim was 3 years ago, and now all of a sudden the guy looks like the next best prospect. I wish he lived 1,000 miles further south, but I'm not sure if that's realistic. But I like what I've seen. I like the weaponry that I've seen from the younger generation. A lot of times there would be, we'd be hoping for someone, you'd watch them and they're great, maybe gritty competitors, but there was maybe nothing that would kind of separate from the pack. And I think with the guys we have now, there are things you can point to and say, well, that's elite. That's an elite skill, whether it be a serve, whether it be athleticism. So I do think there's cause for optimism.
You mentioned Felix. What about his game sort of intrigues you or impresses you, I guess?
Something I look for is easy power, right? I think most guys on tour, if they set up and want to hit a ball hard, they can. The really, really great ones, you think of Roger, I think of a guy named like Thomas Berdych, where it doesn't look like he's swinging out of his shoes, but the ball kind of launches off of his racket. And maybe you can't see it while watching on TV, but you can feel it when you're playing against him. Felix seems to have that easy power. When he's going after a ball, it doesn't look out of sorts. It looks like the technique is pretty much the same. Things that will improve when you're young, right? So you're 18, movement always gets better, power always becomes more. That's just gonna happen. And he already does both of those things pretty well. Even looking at his serve from last summer, I'll get the statistics wrong, but I want to say it looked like a 115, 120 serve, and now all of a sudden you look at him this summer and it's looking like 125, 130. It's starting to look like a weapon, and that should be scary for a lot of people. He moves well already. If you look at the guys that win early, if you're looking at a Hewitt or a Roger or a Rafa, all those guys move well from a young age, and that's certainly not a recessing asset when you get to 21, 22, 23 years old. So there's a lot of things that I like about his game.
Somebody playing after Robby and you tonight is Nick Kyrgios. He's going to be playing main draw doubles. What do you think about his game?
I think his game is very good.
Is he good for the sport?
Every single time I have a microphone in front of me, I'm asked about Nick Kyrgios, so there certainly is interest that he's able to create. I think he is great for the sport. I think, like any tennis fan, I want more out of him. I think your job as a tournament director, if Nick Kyrgios chose to maximize his abilities, it would help you. I think anyone in tennis, if he chose to maximize his abilities, it would help a lot of people in the game of tennis. And for me, I was really finding like a generational talent divide between myself and the guys that I was trying to beat, and I tried to maximize. So this could be completely selfish, but to see someone like Nick, who I would go back and play my career in a second with what he's able to do with a tennis racket. I think like everyone else, from everything I've heard, he's nice away from the media, or when he's not in a good mood, or he's generally pretty accommodating, or I've heard good things. I want more out of him because I care about the sport and because I certainly respect talent.